What vehicles make the most amount of money on Uber Black? That's a great question, and I'm here to break it down for y'all. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is TJackk. I've been in the Uber Black business for less than 1 year and I already scaled a fleet. Now, when it comes to different vehicles in this business, you only got 3 different types that qualify and that's eligible for this business. You got medium-sized SUVs, large-size SUVs, and large XL SUVs. Now, whenever I first started in this business, I made a huge mistake. I bought a medium-sized SUV. It was a Range Rover, and it was only a 5-seater. Now, with that 5-seater Range Rover, I was only able to do Uber X, Comfort, and Black. Y'all know I tell y'all all the time that Black not always busy 24/7. Comfort was cool. That's mainly what I was doing, and I'd be damned if I picked up X people. Now, sometimes it was kind of slow whenever I first started, until I start exercising, building a private clientele. It was kind of slow. So sometimes I was thinking about picking up X people in a Range Rover, even Comfort people. I'm like, bro, what the hell am I doing? I don't know. Like I said, y'all, whenever I first started, I didn't know. I was just going through the motions. But anyways, I made it work. I built a private clientele. But the point of me sharing this story with y'all is to tell y'all, do not buy a medium-sized SUV. I don't care if you're coming into this business to side hustle, make extra cash. It's not good for business because you capped with the ride options you can do, which affect your earning potential. If you're only able to do X, Black, and Comfort, that's not a lot of options. So that means when Black gets slow, you're going to have to raise your quantity of rides when it comes to Comfort just to meet your quota for the day. Now, I don't know what your quota is, but mine was 400 per day. So I was over here tearing up them Comfort rides, which I felt bad for my SUV because I'm like, damn, I'm running the shit out of it and it's not really making me a whole lot of money. So yeah, moral of the story, point of this video is don't buy a medium-sized SUV, please. If you want to get into this business, no matter if you come in to make it a business or just make extra cash, we're going to go to the next ride types or next SUVs that are good for this business, which are large size SUVs and large XL SUVs. Now, after I learned my lesson with my first vehicle, the Range Rover, I bought my partner an Infiniti QX80 because I wanted her to come join the business. I was making way more money than she was working or making at her job. So I'm like, hey, you come make this money too. So I bought her an SUV. I'm like, nope, we're not making that same mistake of buying a medium-sized SUV. We're going to get a large-size SUV. And that's what we did. We bought it. And with that Infiniti QX80, it opened us up to more ride options. So we was able to do X, Comfort, XL, Black SUV. So 5 ride types, which our earning potential shot up even more because it's like now we can dib and dab between the ride options, especially if you get like a Black SUV. One Black SUV will change your whole day. It could be 150 to go 1 hour. So it'll set you up good for the day. So me and her was switching between the cars. One day I'm in an Infiniti, one day she in a Rover, and we still averaging anywhere between $250 to $400 per day. But with the Infiniti, we always made right at $300 minimum per day because we had more ride type options. Now, the thing about the Infiniti, it's a short back SUV, which I divide them between the two because in my little system, it's tier 1 and tier 2. The Infiniti qualifies for tier 1 because it's a short back SUV. Any tier 1 SUV is Any tier 1 SUV is a short back SUV. So 2 SUVs I own currently are under tier 1. Infiniti QX80, Ford Expedition XLT. Those are all shortback SUVs, which is still good for the business. It's just not the best if you're trying to make it a business. You can still hustle up on the rideshare platforms, Uber and Lyft. You can still kill it and make 400 a day, but you'll kind of be like burnt out running your SUV into the ground. And also you having to put in 10 to 12 hours per day. And I'm gonna get into that later on. But the point is having a large size SUV that's a shortback opened up our earning potential more. So if you're watching this video, you planning on buying an SUV, I would tell you right now, check out the Infiniti QX80. Now, of course, they're a little bit expensive. I always recommend people not to spend over 40K because at the end of the day, y'all, we driving people around. You don't need to go buy a $60,000, $70,000 SUV. To me, that just don't make sense. My budget always was 40 and below. Now, for shortback options, you got the Infiniti QX80, Ford Expedition XLT, you got the GMC Yukon, you got the Cadillac Escalade, you got the Chevy Tahoe, and you got the Lincoln Navigator. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing some. If y'all want to comment different ones that I probably missed in the comment section, go ahead. But those SUVs, like I said, all good. You can make $400 per day in each one of them SUVs, and they all good for business, because I don't want y'all to get it twisted. Like, it's not like a certain model SUV you have to have. As long as you got a nice large size SUV that you able to do XL, black, and black SUV, you good. You're going to touch about 400 per day, of course, depending on how many hours you put in. Now, I always tell people, especially my students, I say, hey, only go for the large size SUVs that qualify for tier 1, meaning they short back. Short back is just like they don't have trunk space. Only go for those SUVs if you're not trying to make it a business. That means only if you're trying to hustle up, take a quantity of rides to make $400 to $500 per day. So if you're watching this video, you planning on making this a business, tier 1 SUVs, not good for you. You should go tier 2. And like I said, the difference is trunk space. Now, the only reason I recommend that is because once you start building a private clientele, you might get a family of 5. What if they all got bags and suitcases? They not all gonna fit in your SUV. Even though it's a large SUV, their bags and stuff could be big. So the shortback SUVs, I wish I had a picture to show y'all. I'll put one in the video. The shortback SUVs don't have a lot of trunk space. So you may be able to fit like 2-3 suitcases. But if they big suitcases, you're not going to be able to fit all. The only way you'll be able to fit big suitcases is if it's a couple, like 2 people, and you're able to let down the 3rd row and put their suitcases on top of the 3rd row. That's the only way. But that's why it's not good for business, because majority of the time, if you want to build a private clientele, you're going to get a lot of families. So you need a big XL SUV that qualify for tier 2 in order to service that family or the families. Now, like I said, tier 1 SUV is good. Keep in mind, like I said, it's just for side hustling. You ain't really trying to make it a business. Now let's move to tier 2, the large XL SUVs. Those SUVs are perfect for business, because not only are you able to make money off the rideshare platforms, you can utilize the size of the SUV to build a private clientele. And your target audience is unlimited. Now with the tier 1 SUV, your target audience is mainly couples, maybe like 3-4 people. But with the tier 2 SUV, your target audience is unlimited. That means you can handle families, single people, couples, triples, whatever. You can handle any type of people. So it's good for business. And the ride types you're able to do are X, Comfort, XL, double XL, black SUV. So it's only one more option than the tier 1 SUV. And that the only difference is the double XL. And the only difference between double XL and regular XL is double XL is just the trunk space. XL is not trunk space. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So yeah, the SUVs that are good, it's the same brand that I named with tier 1. You got the Ford. Oh, that's the SUV I missed for tier 1. No, I said it. It was the Ford Expedition XLT. I said that. Never mind. But for tier 2, listen to me closely, because the trim and model is different. We got instead of the Ford XLT, we got the Ford Max. Next, we got the GMC Yukon XL. Next, we got the Cadillac Escalade ESV. Next, we got the Chevy Suburban. And then Lincoln Navigator, I forget which trim model, but usually the Lincoln Navigator is always a nice big size SUV. So the same brand, it's just different trims, meaning just more space, more trunk space. That's the best way I can put it. And like I said, it's good for if you trying to make it a business. Now, these SUVs are going to be more expensive than tier 1 SUVs. Those SUVs, brand new or even used, still going to be in like the 50 to 60 range. So with the tier 1 SUVs, the thing about them is you're able to find those for like 40, maybe 45, 50K. But the large SUVs, the large XLs, those options go up to like 60, 70. And I'm talking about used, pre-owned, and even new, they go up to 6 figures. So be cautious. I'm always tell y'all, like, go off your finances, but you don't have to break the bank to buy a SUV. I recommend you don't spend over 40K. And the point of, the best way I can answer y'all question is, tier 1 SUV, tier 2 SUV if you want to rely on the rideshare platform. But go tier 2 if you're trying to make it a business. Do not buy a medium-sized SUV. I repeat, do not buy a medium-sized SUV. I don't have nothing against them. I'm just telling you off business experience, a lesson I learned. It wasn't good for business. I made it work because of the type of vehicle I had. If I had another different model vehicle that was a medium-sized SUV, maybe I wouldn't have done what I was able to do whenever I first started. Also, I want to go back to sedans real quick. I'll probably make a separate video. Sedans are good too. But before I go, sedans and medium-sized SUVs, they probably about like what and what. And if you do want to get those vehicles just because you got a cheaper budget, you want to stay between 35, 40K or maybe below that, your target audience is only going to be single people or maybe couples. That's it. You're not going to be able to target a big family when it comes to building a private clientele. Now, with any vehicle that qualifies for Uber Black, whether it's a sedan, medium-sized SUV, large-sized SUV, you can make it work, but don't mess up or don't make a mistake of buying something that's not good for business and then it coming back to bite you, which is why I decided to share this video off my personal experience. But with that being said, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Show some love to the channel. Leave me a like, share the video. And if y'all have any questions, let me know down in the comment section. But with that being said, I'll catch y'all next video.